Incredible. Real quick, let me check my stove. It smells a little gassy in here. And I'm sure I didn't leave the stove on with dinner, but I do want to double check. I'll be right back, chat.
Oh, yeah, chat, you can see it. You can see the gas at the top of his screen.
Okay.
It's leaking in.
So I'm not going to tell you that the gas was still on, but it wasn't turned off. So I'm glad I noticed.
What does that mean?
It means the gas was definitely still running. It was very low.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, no.
Zach was about to...
You had probably turned it, but not all the way to off.
Yes. The fire burnt out, but there was still a little tss. So. Folks, what is up, and welcome to Ace Attorney with an actual lawyer. I'm your host, Zach, joined by our voice actor, Wes.
Hello!
And our elephant-loving lawyer, Pridge.
I never said that. I love elephants.
Pridge loves Republicans. That's where it comes from.
Whoa!
Damn.
Let's
Them's
take a
fight.
step back there.
Folks, if you want to watch us live, you can follow us on twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam. And if you want to support us, head over to patreon.com/SaveDataTeam, where for just $2 a month, you get access to the full VOD channel of every single stream we do. $5 lets you vote on one of our variety streams, as well as get your name included as an NPC in our D&D campaign Saving Throw. New episode this weekend. And at the $10 level and above, you get your name included in this Patreon song. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. Burger Bun, Mr. Cola Bun, and a Cosmo, Dave Hall, Lucha, and Sofino. HSM, Ernless, Crow Knight, Danny, Antilester, Kevin Nation, Shadowed Navi. Witch Tower, Sky, Herlock, Hyde, Self, Aria, Arky, Forensic, Becknick, Cole, JFJ, Mystic, Woody. Leprechaun, Jacob L, Go, Zeppeli, Sheber, Steam, Ryger, Rilla, Jolie, Baron Esper, BBC, What, and Sherlock's Zoom, Stillart, Ami, Borshock, Shrim, Ari, A1, Narwhal, Shiny, Caterpie, Diego Garcia, Night Boomer, Emily, Mega Zero, Big Curbo, Who Needs to Sleep, Alea, Yakta, Estever, Entropy, Daedric and Serafina, C, Lumgar, Chrissy, and Tasty Marbar. Dessert Boy Man, Elijah Sly, Rick Rat, Katja, Traveling in a Box, and Snowcat, Conjuring Scribes, Yo Croissant, Fulfilla, Written Word, Shade the Punisher, Sevilla. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. And hey folks, thanks also to your continued support. We got another sponsor again. Well, by another, I mean it's just Javy again, but it's still Javy.
Ah, Javy's back.
Javy's back.
What's up, Javy?
Back again. Hey, folks. You probably, assuming that you've watched previous episodes of this series, already know about Javy. It's the coffee concentrate the kids are talking about. But hey, folks, genuinely, Javy really dug how y'all kind of popped off for us when we first got them. So they wanted to sponsor us again, and this time give us a better cut of the portions. So if you didn't do it last time, or you did it last time and thought, hey, I can do more Javy, I encourage you to do it again. They sent me a custom Javy cup. They sent me more Javy. And yeah, use our code. You can type !Javy, click the link down below, or !sponsor in the chat. And it'll take you to this sweet little page where you can see all this great information about how simple it is to use, how ethically sourced their coffee is. It's 100% Arabica beans. You can make it cold, you can make it hot. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. It has, I believe, almost 20,000 reviews, and it's sitting at a 4.8 stars. It's really, really good. And
now that's just good math.
Exactly. Well, speaking of good math, Wes, as you pointed out last time, because each of these containers has about 30 servings of coffee, your price per cup is so low, it's technically cheaper than almost all other coffee methods. So, yeah, folks.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that one, Zach. I got no reasons not to buy Javy.
I thought you were, for some reason, I thought you were reaching over to pull out your own Javy, and I was like, whoa, you have Javy too? How? How is it possible?
No, Zach, I was Javy the whole time.
Luke Abney was Javy. But once again, thank you folks for supporting
That
us.
makes no sense.
And it does not. And thank you, Javy, for sponsoring us. But let's get back into the game. Oh, right. Yeah, we just got her to come in because Van Zeeks was like, no, this woman might know something about the person who killed my brother. I would like to call her to the stand, please.
Screw the consequences. This is happening now.
Thank you for your attendance at such short notice, Dr. Scythe.
I'm disappointed in you, Lord Van
The
Zeeks.
fucking head just like jittering to to the screen is really good.
Honestly, this is such a power-packed bench.
It is. It's really good.
Like, truly Three Kings.
Mm-hmm.
You've completely betrayed the agreed policy of both Scotland Yard and the prosecutor's office.
Betrayal is not in my nature, as long as the truth isn't compromised. If it is, if there's even a hint of wrongdoing, then no matter whom it concerns or disgruntles, I will pursue the matter to the bitter end, as would any prosecutor worth his salt.
What about a prosecutor worth his pepper?
Shut up, that's not funny.
Mr. Drebber, you took the victim's life by means of a machine that you constructed in your workshop. And, Dr. Scythe, as the investigating coroner, you were the first on the scene to examine the victim's body. It is the belief of the defense that you collaborated with each other and were both complicit in this crime.
And where's your evidence?
At present, we have no definitive evidence, but we do have a very significant clue.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking, of course, about the waxwork. That's still in the middle of this room. The model of the killer known as the Professor, who was sentenced to death 10 years ago.
Now, see, this is actually Herlock pretending to be a mannequin was actually a Chekhov's gun situation. That's actually the Professor, and he's just posing like a waxwork this entire time. And he's like, "All right, just don't move a muscle, and they'll
never know. I've been alive this whole time."
Listen, game, I figured out all your secrets. You can't hide.
You got
from
all
me.
your secrets.
You don't need to tell me. I witnessed the man's execution with my own eyes, and officially pronounced him dead.
That remains to be seen.
Is that so?
That's a pretty good rebuttal. I like that. According to newspaper reports from the time, on the night following his execution, the killer came back to life.
Don't waste my time.
And the sole witness to that mysterious event was you, Mr. Drebber, wasn't it? If what you saw in the graveyard that night 10 years ago wasn't some chilling fiction, but reality, it would make you privy to a very great secret of Dr. Scythe's. A secret so profound, it could compel the coroner to agree to collaborate in your evil scheme, in fact. Mr. Drebber, tell the court! Tell everyone the truth of what you saw that night in Lowgate Cemetery! Did his voice box break?
Beep boop.
So he was the student who saw it?
You can see the resemblance, actually, can't you, with the man in Martin Spells, I mean?
Surely he's not going to claim that's really what he saw, especially not after all these years.
He was a research student at the University of London, was he?
And a bit too clever for his own good, if you ask me.
K. What an interesting twist. When at the time, not one person would take me seriously. Yet now here we are, 10 years later, and suddenly my story matters. And in a court of law, too. Very well, then, if everyone so wishes. Let's be frank.
Ah, Wes!
No! We're all frank now! What have you done, Drebber, you madman? How can we all be Luke at me if we're all frank?
I'll tell you the truth of what happened that night, for what it's worth.
So, Mr. Drebber, your testimony, please, about the events of that night 10 years ago. You will tell the court exactly what you stumbled across in Lowgate Cemetery.
Yes, of course, as you wish.
So I was there that night doing my robot
The end.
dances.
The end.
Real Boogie Night scenario. just dancing away.
God damn it. Frank just tipped $3 saying, God, help, what happened?
You are all frank now.
Incredible. Real quick, let me check my stove. It smells a little gassy in here. I'm sure I didn't leave the stove on with dinner, but I do want to double check. I'll be right back, chat.
Oh, yeah, chat, you can see it. You can see the gas in the top of his screen.
Okay.
It's leaking in.
So I'm not going to tell you that the gas was still on, but it wasn't turned off. So I'm glad I noticed.
What does that mean?
That means the gas was definitely still running. It was very low.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, no.
Zach was about to...
You had probably turned it, but not all the way to off.
Yes. The fire burnt out, but there was still a little tss. So.
Zach was about to be real loopy tonight.
Yeah, I'm like, should I open a window now? Like, what? But it's loud. They're doing construction. Y'all don't want to hear that. This is what I suffer for you all.
It's also almost certainly not enough to be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. Sakata said, Natsume moment. And Tomoko Joestar said, is Shamsphere living under your apartment? That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Very nice, very nice.
All right.
The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery at all 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say.
Nobody's gonna believe this, Trevor.
Yes, the illustration in that newspaper article was based on what I witnessed that night. But thinking back now, I realize that I never actually saw the professor. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me from wax. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist. The end.
Wow.
I wanted
What a
a sculpture
random...
of me, so I decided I could never be a scientist.
I know! What a random direction to take the story.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it was all because of that newspaper article.
Wait a minute. You're claiming you didn't actually see the professor now?
Of course, you'd have to have a screw loose if you believed a corpse could come back from the dead.
But... So you're saying this article is...
Based. Not worth the paper it's printed on? I think that would describe it perfectly, yes.
if the details in the article aren't true, it nullifies your argument for why Mr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe would have been working together.
So he's discrediting himself to cripple my argument.
Joke's on you. I cripple my own arguments.
I've been discredited thoroughly by this court already.
Tell me, witness, ain't nothing but a heartache? You claim to have been in the cemetery on some auxiliary business. Can you elaborate?
No.
Nah.
Oh, well, was worth a shot, I guess.
Oh.
That's right. Grave robbing, to be precise.
Okay, at least he admits that, because I was like, dude, you were there with the shovel. We know that.
I
As
was
you-
gardening. Yeah, that's it. Gardening.
I was using my spade to dig a hole.
Objection!
Susato over there like As you know, Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So among students at the university, it had a reputation for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Grave robbing, you say?
Well, that's not
Yes.
good.
I'll have to give you a slap on the wrist for that one.
You have to go to time out in the corner.
The coroner, that's
Judge-
me.
Ah! Yes, exhuming fresh corpses to sell is reasonably lucrative. Of course, I never laid a finger on any valuables buried with the dead.
Why not? I feel like that'd be a really smart
Why
Are-
not?
grave robbing.
When I go grave robbing, that's all I do. I mean,
Got me again.
me. I'm really good at this.
So, you are one of the so-called resurrectionists.
Oh,
A particularly unpleasant scourge on society.
actually, my fellows and I went by another name, the Repurposers.
Okay.
That's lame. I'm gonna call you guys the resurrectionists.
Objectively, my name was much cooler.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to mine.
That is quite beyond the pale. You would invite divine retribution, sir.
I am very pale, yes.
Some might say beyond pale. Yes, well, I think I suffered retribution enough. The Daily Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print. It caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university. That was the only paper with the bad grace to identify me unambiguously, I might add.
I see. Oh, wait. Is this... Did he kill Assman as revenge for putting his name in the fucking paper?
Maybe?
That might be what it is. I see.
Out of interest, who drew the illustration for this article?
Ah, yes. That was the reporter who exposed
Yes.
me. He sketched that right in front of me as I described the scene.
Oh yeah, what was his name?
Obviously, as time ticked on, I bitterly regretted what I'd done. Claiming to have seen something I never truly saw. Foolish. Very foolish.
Well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed to the cross-examination now.
At once, my lord. Okay. Cemetery, moonlighting, that's nothing. Illustration in newspapers based on what I witnessed.
That's
I mean,
probably
obviously, you
important.
want to go right. I mean, what I want to
Yeah.
do first is go right to where he said who did it, so we can say it was Assman and create some sort of connection here.
Afterwards, visited by a young woman. Okay, wait.
It's either the second one or the last one. Is the one we need to press, I
Oh,
think.
rock there.
But what was the last one?
It was, I gave up on being a scientist, and it was all
we
because
don't
of
get
the
any
article.
things he said. Oh, we don't get any things he said after that.
No.
Then yeah, I'd start with this one then.
Because of the article?
Yeah.
Okay. This article, you mean? Published in the Daily Circus?
Yes, somebody informed the dean that it was my name that appeared in the article. And carelessly let slip that night after night, I was digging up graves. Hardly a model student, you might say. The university's reputation was execrably... What is that word?
Execrably?
Execrably?
That's what I would guess.
Execrably, yeah.
I like this one.
I gotta look it up. Execrable. Okay, so what's execrable? Execrable. So execrably.
Excrement. Poopy.
Execrably. It means extremely bad or unpleasant. Was badly defiled,
Okay.
I'm guessing. Okay. Interesting.
The university's reputation was execrably defiled, and I was expelled as a result.
Why would one student being weird destroy the reputation of a university?
Yeah, I don't know, dog.
You know,
What if he was
just
really
thinking
weird?
you
Bridge.
I
well,
thought
you
I
didn't.
saw
Wait a
some
minute.
arrived-
You didn't say. You didn't say it was really
Like,
weird.
he was
That
so
changes the
cringe,
whole
the
thing.
entire university got discredited.
He
Wow.
was so cringe.
What
Damn.
if so? What if so cringe?
Mon Dieu, I had no idea.
And having been run out of university, you found employment in a somewhat specialist trade.
You combined your knowledge of science with knowledge of stage magic to create various experimental machines intended to demonstrate never-before-seen technology. And you used those deceptive machines to trick the government and private investigators into giving you money. Professor Albert Harebrain was just your latest victim, wasn't he?
Whatever are you talking about? I have no recollection of doing anything of the sort.
What's Drebber up to? Why would he suddenly change his tune and recant his claim?
I wonder if perhaps it's because of his circumstance. It's because his circumstances have changed now.
Yes. What circumstances?
Well, if he admits to having seen the professor emerging alive from his grave 10 years ago, it will expose a secret in Dr. Scythe's past that she would desperately want to hide.
Yes, of course. If Drebber and Dr. Scythe are working together now, then if Drebber were to betray her, there would be no reason for her to continue to cooperate. In that case, there's only one way around it. I have to prove he really did see it. Prove he really did see the professor's corpse rising back from the dead as he originally claimed. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, exactly.
Thank you for the hint, video game.
I'll
We
take it.
also didn't. We did actually get that new piece of evidence, and we didn't even look at it. Oh,
We looked at
Never
this.
mind.
Yeah, we looked at this.
okay. Okay, so that's what he saw or claims to have seen. Based on what I witnessed, thinking back, realized I never saw the professor.
I would press the second one.
Yeah.
The second and the third one, probably.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Yeah, that's fair. What did he? If he admits he's lying, then what did he actually say?
Right. The strange happening at Lowgate Cemetery, which you now deny.
Not entirely. I ran to fetch the police at the time, you know. I was shaking like a
Okay,
leaf.
but why would you go to the police?
But they didn't believe a word of it. In fact, I was very nearly arrested myself.
So you went to the papers instead?
I started big with the London News, but unsurprisingly, they didn't want to know either.
They also thought I was a weirdo.
And they were right. In the end, though, it was reporters from the gossip rags, the gutter press, that came to get my story. And it spread like the plague through the capital as gossip-hungry Londoners lapped up the tale.
Spread like the London fire through the capital.
The story was in every single paper at the time, with the exception of some broadsheets.
Damn.
And yet only 2 or 3 of them actually interviewed me personally. Most of the accounts turned out to be very interpretive ghost stories.
What about the article in the Daily Circus?
That particular journalist found me at my dormitory. I don't know how, but he discovered my name. So I recounted to him exactly what had happened that night.
And from your description, he drew this illustration.
Precisely. That's how I learnt that the condemned man was the infamous professor. Because the reporter told me so. I had no idea myself, you see.
Newspaper reporters are wont to snoop around in matters that don't concern them.
I mean, it's kind of their job. To be fair.
So, the scene portrayed in the illustration is accurate, then?
Well...
Yes, Airlink.
Snooping as usual, I see.
I think right now I realize I never actually saw the professor. Okay, well, what? Why did you? Why did you?
Say?
What are you talking about?
I think I explained already, didn't I? Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Is he gonna say he saw a ghost?
I saw a ghost. I saw
For
the
some
departed souls of the convicts.
For some absurd reason, I was scared of the graveyard at night. And as a result, only too willing to believe that nonsense about the dead coming back to life.
But you said you actually saw it.
I said what I'd seen in my mind's eye.
What the fuck does that mean?
After all, resurrection is impossible, isn't it? You'd have to be unhinged to think otherwise. Unless, of course, you have some evidence that proves I encountered the professor that night.
Is it the camera?
I don't know. Is there any material?
Because it still has the thing.
It's not.
Yeah, I bet it's
I
the
guess-
camera.
Yeah, the camera with blood on it, maybe the best we
Any
have.
material evidence that could show he really did see the professor?
If we have anything at all, Mr. Naruhodo,
I know. I need to present it against that irritatingly backtracking statement of his.
The point is, that night was a pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah, because we think that it was the actual camera.
Well,
I mean, with the
Because-
blood on it, it makes that more likely, unless we think there's something else.
so...
Yeah. And it still has, like, the thing in it
Here's-
from the picture that was taken,
Here's
right?
the detail. What does it say?
And he's got the camera around his
He
neck
doesn't
right
have the
there.
camera. The thing is, in this illustration of his recollection of the tale, let me see here. In the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more. How do we not read that? That's like insanely
Wait,
important.
what? Where does it say
At
that?
Logate Cemetery, just behind the prison, on the night of the foul demon's execution, the newly interred professor forced off his grave cover as he clawed free of the earth. The young man who witnessed this scene was on the verge of raising a shriek when, in the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more. The youth then finally released the scream he had been holding and ran for his life. The university student who experienced this shocking event is Mr. Enoch Drebber, a disciple of science at the University of London and a resident of its student dorms.
Well, that, again,
Yeah.
leads me more back to the blood on the camera, unless we think we're
That's-
supposed to present the article first and then
It-
lead that into the blood
It
on
is
the
the
camera.
article. I actually think this is kind of bogus how they're wanting us to make this leap here. But basically, he described him as wearing the mask, which he couldn't have known unless he actually saw the fucking body.
Oh.
Okay.
But I thought the
I mean, I
mask
don't-
was.
I guess,
thought
yeah.
the mask was an addition. Because he didn't have the mask on when he came out. The mask was something that was put on him because Spells can't.
That's what we were
show
led
it
to
people.
believe, but why would he describe? Yeah, because he described this picture of it wearing the mask, so it's very weird.
Yeah, it's
We're saying
a
read the
little
professor
wonky.
autopsy. British. Oh, he was pierced the heart by a sharp implement.
He was shot to the heart,
Yeah.
and it was too late.
Wait, no, this is Assman's. Never mind.
Yeah, that's
Where
Aspen.
the fuck is his thing? There it is. He was hanged.
Death by hanging. But yeah, but that's probably bogus.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Present. Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Drebber, but I don't believe that.
Don't believe what?
Your latest claim. You did see the professor that night 10 years ago.
Oh dear, we seem to be at odds. But I was there, and you were not. I know what I didn't see.
The illustration with this article was drawn based on what you told the journalist what you witnessed. A figure emerging from a tomb, wearing an iron mask.
This is making these.
Yes.
I think this is a
What are
tough
you gonna
leap
say,
of
Bridge?
logic for sure.
Yeah, hold on, keep going. I don't want to say anything yet.
When the killer was tried 10 years ago, it was decided in the closed court's ruling that the man would wear the mask to hide his identity. It wasn't to be removed even during his execution and subsequent burial.
Okay.
Just that he wouldn't know.
So he,
Yeah.
so he shouldn't have. So if he was lying, he shouldn't have known to lie about the mask. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'm not certain how he's supposed to know that part yet.
It feels like a pretty tenuous leap, but sure.
Yes, but now I get the chain of evidence.
And it could just be that we're
Yeah.
playing it week to week instead of maybe it would have been fresher in our minds, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't think they ever mentioned that he actually wore a mask. I thought that the mask was just a thing that
addition
to
from
spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't. If they ever said that he actually had a mask on, then sure, we probably just forgot that. But I don't remember anyone ever being like, "Oh yeah, he wore a mask to conceal his identity."
Not even the prison wardens were to see the man's face. But obviously, the provision of this mask was not public knowledge.
So, Mr. Drebber, as you've just heard, a lowly student of the University of London certainly wouldn't have known about the condemned man's mask. So unless you'd actually seen the professor that night, it's inconceivable that the artist would have included the mask in that illustration.
Inconceivable.
Order! Order! Well, Mr. Drebber?
It's a vile scene, isn't it? If you look closely.
Huh?
And as I've already been at pains to point out, I was utterly petrified. Which is why I had it in my head that I'd seen such a blood-curdling sight. But afterwards, I came to my senses and realized that I'd been mistaken.
You're still saying you didn't see it?
If you're stubbornly sticking to that story, witness,
Yeah, get his ass, man, Zeeks.
then amend your testimony to explain exactly how you think your eyes deceived you.
Of course. Only too happy to oblige.
I can't believe he's still not going to concede the point.
What I in fact witnessed was a fellow grave robber at work.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you about that now.
Uh-huh.
Was he wearing a mask?
Fellow grave robber? What are you talking about?
Well, I wasn't the only one busy in the cemetery that night, you know. Other body snatchers were at work.
There was an invasion of them.
Invasion of the body snatchers?
Of course, when I saw one emerging from the hole he'd dug, my heart very nearly stopped. So that's the terrifying sight I actually saw. You
Still
see?
doesn't explain the mask
Yeah, what?
part at all.
Or the gunshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're claiming it was just another student on equally insalubrious business as yourself.
Many of the medical students would wear metal
Okay.
masks to protect them
Oh,
from
okay.
bacteria during dissection.
Oh, fuck off. They're not wearing metal masks.
Clearly, the fellow was using such a mask to protect his anonymity. Wouldn't you say?
But there's more to the story, isn't there? The article goes on to say, in the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind.
Okay, good.
The
We're
bullet
bringing it
pierced
up.
the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more.
We might assume that the sexton, nice, discovered the miscreants at work, perhaps, and fired upon one of them.
If a gravedigger had shot somebody in the cemetery, I think it might have been rather big news, my lord.
The gravedigger was the second shooter in the graveyard.
In the gravy knoll.
Bob Evans?
Yes, well,
I can only assume it was an embellishment
Ah.
bolted on later by the
You
reporter.
got something to say about this? Madame Tuspels!
What's funny is it actually didn't look like she really changed
No,
that much.
no.
I guess she is attacking
Yeah.
it harder, not attacking it, sculpting it harder.
Madame Tuspels, don't take it out on Mr. Sholmes.
Oh la la! Pardon. I was lost in my thoughts.
Would it be fair to say that Mr. Drebber's last remark was significant to you in some way?
I thought it was a little strange, that is all. How Monsieur Draper could claim this now.
If you don't mind me saying, madam, what are you talking about?
Pardon my French, but what the fuck?
But
The fuck?
But that is not Oh, I understand.
It was a joke.
I see, I am on the same page now. Well, when I met you 10 years ago at your university dormitory, you recounted to me about your adventures in the cemetery, no?
When I met you at that frat party in college,
Including the gunshot.
stop!
oh shit.
You might want to watch your tongue, you know. Have a care, Drebber. That's no way to speak to a lady.
Yeah, Mr. Gentleman
Yeah.
over here.
Please, Madame Tuspels,
Ca-
carry on.
yes, go on, milady.
Of course. According to what Monsieur Drebber told me at the time, he did hear a gunshot from behind him, and the bullet hit the condemned man.
I said nothing of the sort.
No, you were very explicit about the
Yeah,
details.
His ass.
Get him.
About the mask that the figure was wearing, and the blood that
Okay.
splattered over you when he was shot.
This brings the camera into play.
Now we're gonna get to the camera.
Enough! Shut up, woman! You're making all this
Oh
up!
no, Drebber, you fucked up now. Cancelled.
Party
Drebber's
foul.
over party.
That will do. Nobody talks to my waifu like that. Mr. Drebber,
Yes.
King Kieran saying
You
it's bear over is really good to me.
Yeah, I like
Or
that.
Dreb over
It's
plasma.
Trip over.
Also good.
Yep.
you refute the account just given by Madame Tuspels?
I have no recollection of ever saying those things.
Come on! Do you really expect us to believe you?
Control yourself, counsel. I will not permit baseless accusations in my courtroom.
Keep my accusations based from now on, Your Honor.
I was just gonna say, what about
good.
fake accusations?
All right.
Now, if that was a based accusation, that's another matter entirely. Under the circumstances, I think it best that you supplement your testimony with a statement to clarify your position on this witness.
Very well.
Okay. Well, this is an easy one. We got this.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
no
dude.
gunshot from behind me at all. No, nor
Give him-
any spattering
Hey,
blood.
bud. Hey, bud.
Give him the camera.
Hey, you want to take... Look at this camera! Wait, what?
Oh, come on, video game.
What?
We gotta press it first? Come on.
Oh, we probably have to press it. Oh.
Boo!
Game sucks.
Boo! 0 out of 10 game. Terrible game.
That last statement would seem to be at odds somehow with the evidence.
It is your task, counsel, to explain the somehows to the court, not the other way around.
It just seems to jar, though, don't you think?
What I think is that this whole exchange has been extremely jarring, yes.
Perhaps I need to reconsider this. Maybe look at the camera again.
Because it says there's blood on it.
I mean,
Yeah, when the lens
just
extended, dark staining is visible on the bellows.
Yeah, just press it then. Maybe we have to press it first.
Yeah, okay. Oop, wrong button. Yet, Madame Tuspels has testified that you told her about both of these details.
Not true. I said nothing of the sort. 10 years have passed. Without material evidence to the contrary, you have no grounds on which to question the witness's word.
Tell me, Madame Tuspels, did he give you this camera from that night and say he was wearing it that night, please?
Oui.
What exactly did Mr. Drebber say about the blood that apparently spattered on him?
Alors, this is what he told me. All of a sudden, he heard a very loud gunshot from behind his back. The bullet hit the figure who was emerging from the tomb in the middle of the chest, in his heart.
One dreadful sight after another.
And since Monsieur Drebber was at that time facing toward the condemned man, the blood sprayed from the wound and spattered on his body. That is what he told me.
So, not an experience you would ever forget, is it?
Precisely. And I didn't forget it, because, as I've already said,
Didn't happen.
it never happened in the first place.
He's clearly lying. If only I had some evidence to prove it.
Yeah.
We do.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
weird if we had evidence, video game? Wouldn't that be just swell if we just happened to have some evidence?
We can't let him win, Mr. Naruhodo. So we mustn't overlook a single detail, no matter how small. Even if it's inside the camera, we can't overlook that. Even if it's just a small, insignificant stain
maybe
that's
maybe,
on the camera.
maybe
We can't overlook
God
that.
damn it! What? Maybe we follow up with this because he says he visited her, and that would give her access to the camera. I'm really hoping he says or she says that. Oh yeah, he gave me a camera.
Yeah.
That young.
Because they literally just laid it out for us, but we weren't
Right.
right, which is weird.
That young woman being Madame Tuspels, of course.
Precisely. I must say, I didn't expect to run into her again like this 10 years later.
As I have explained, I went by the name published in the article, and
Comme ça.
What is that? Comme ça?
I found the man.
'Cause it's.
Kamika! Kameka-mama.
Kame!
Mama, thank you for you jumped straight to the end of that. You nailed it. Comme ça means like that, Gianty Vitalo
Okay.
says. Yes, the article in the Daily Circus, I think you said.
I was a poor student with barely a penny to my name at the time. And the young lady put £5 in front of me. So you readily consented to having a waxwork of yourself made, and gave permission for it to be put on display.
I did.
I should sell what little I had to sell, I concluded.
Ah, oui, I remember now. I purchased
Okay.
something else
Yeah,
from you that day,
thank
n'est-ce pas?
you. Thank
What
you.
was it?
Did you? I can't say I remember.
What was it, madame?
His camera.
Please update the report.
Oh, yes. I made a point of taking it with me whenever I made an excursion into any cemetery.
You took a camera with you, sir. To what end?
To record the details of the bodies I disinterred. Don't kink shame me.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
I need to get pictures of all their lovely bones.
Isn't that what the movie Lovely Bones is about? No? Oh, okay. But I had no intention of ever visiting a graveyard again after that night, so I sold it. Because there's nothing else you can use a camera for other than taking pictures of dead bodies. It's not like I'm going to take
What's the
pictures of
point?
alive people.
Jesus Christ.
That's just silly.
Fuck. Silver Warrior says you wouldn't download a body. Very good.
That's very good.
I see.
But I still have it, monsieur. It is part of the special exhibit in my House of Horrors.
Yes.
And I am very meticulous about such details. It is the Dispel's way. It would seem then that this is the very camera Mr. Drebber took with him to Lowgate Cemetery on the night in question.
Okay, well, wind back to like 5 episodes ago when we got to that part. We were like, what the fuck? That's bullshit. Why would it be the real camera? And now the game's laughing at us.
Now the game is just dunking on us.
Yes. Interesting.
Okay.
Now
I wouldn't have thought we had to update the camera twice.
update the camera report.
Yeah.
No guns from behind me, nor any spattering of blood.
All right, video game. Here's your stinking camera.
Here's your stinking camera.
Mr. Drebber, do you remember this camera?
But that is the camera from that fateful night.
Dispels, why are you acting surprised? You kept it all these years. Like,
Probably because we have it.
yeah, well, how we do and don't have physical pieces of evidence is not really explained.
Should never be questioned.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong on that regard.
Your Honor, I think this requires a trip to the cemetery. Fortunately for us, I've brought the whole cemetery to court.
Yes, we.
Well done, Lord Van Zeeks.
But I did that.
But that was
You're
me.
welcome, my lord.
Yes, we borrowed it from the House of Horrors. It's the camera that you took with you to the cemetery that night, Mr. Drebber.
And is that supposed to be significant?
There's some embarrassing selfies in here, and a dick pic.
Slam. No, anything. Give it back now.
This kind of camera is rarely seen in our homeland, so my colleague and I were keen to examine it closely. We noticed that
Like, dude, shit, cool camera.
the lens extends forward on the end of some bellows. Like this. Hold it! Oh, rare. Zeke's hold it.
Yeah.
What's that? There, just on the bellows.
Is that red wine?
Could I lick it, just to test?
Gross.
It looks like a dark red stain.
Ah,
That's right. It's a rather conspicuous mark here on the bellows, in fact.
Good Lord! Are you suggesting?
Yes, my lord. It would appear to be a spatter of blood.
Something that could be confirmed with a simple chemical test. A German chemical test. Isn't that right, Dr. Scythe? it would be difficult to determine if it was human blood and not the blood of some animal. Animals are known to take pictures with their cameras.
I thought you were going to say animals are known to have blood in them, and I was like, well, not wrong, but weird.
Miss Dr. Scythe? I thought you said animals aren't known to have blood in them. You're like, are you sure you're a coroner, Dr. Scythe? Dad, you've exposed my horrible secret.
She's saying like assembling a skeleton completely wrong. Like,
so
damn
it, where does the skull go? Is it go on the
between
knee,
the
right?
leg? The skull goes between the legs.
Patella bone. The patella bone's connected to the clavicle bone. The clavicle bone's connected to the finger bone.
The butt bone.
That's what it's called, right? The butt bone?
Wildly enough, it's called the coccyx, which is even funnier.
Which is the best name. That's a name we can all chuckle at.
Hey, sick cock. Sick.
Shut the fuck up.
But yes, to test whether or not it's blood at all is simple enough.
I propose that Madame Tuspel's testimony was correct, and that on the night in question 10 years ago, you were spattered with blood from the gunshot wound.
Well,
Sorry, photographer just gifted $55.
Oh!
Saying, wow, look at all these old photos from Zach's high school on Drebber's camera. And folks, that means we did it. The high school photo stream will happen.
Nice.
So thank you all so much. Dog bless you.
Incredible. Zach high school photo tier list. Confirmed.
It will happen. We'll probably make that happen pretty soon, to be honest with you. So stay tuned. If you're not members of the Discord, join the Discord, because we post our weekly schedules there. Well, let me just get a clean take here. What did I say right before this? No! Of course it does an animation. I hate this game. You can't click anywhere, else it just skips you. That's the wrong button.
Nope,
Jesus
not that
Christ.
button.
I'm so bad at this. History. T for history. This game's rated T for history.
Yeah.
On the night in question 10 years ago, you were spattered with blood from the gunshot wound, and furthermore, you really did witness the condemned professor emerging from his tomb.
And,
There's simply no way you could have forgotten such a traumatic experience. In other words, the only explanation is that you're trying to hide the fact that you saw the professor that night.
Objection!
But why? Why would he want to do that?
Well, not for his own gain, it would seem.
For whose then? Who could benefit?
For whom the bell tolls.
Mr. Drebber is obviously lying in order to protect somebody. They're gonna make us pick
is
sides.
Drebber a simp? Is that what's happening?
No, he's using this to blackmail her into this.
Yeah, he needs her to keep lying as well.
Also, first time chatter egg sucks at games says get a controller instead. Why should I get a $30 Logitech controller? Maybe that would help me control the stream better. Anyways, moving off that joke because it's a little uncomfortable. But
wow, Zach went there.
Damn.
My goodness, he's shielding someone.
yes.
Hey, person I'm shielding. A little help, please.
Do me a solid.
Yes, my lord. And clearly, it's someone who doesn't want the truth about the professor coming back to life to be exposed.
Well, Counsel, who is it then?
They are gonna make us say it.
Really.
God damn it.
Who is this witness trying to protect by lying
It's
about
the dead
what he
man.
saw
Oh,
that night?
yes, man.
It's Bella Luna.
Bavarian Bohemian boy.
No, it's obviously Bella Luna. This is all his
doing.
He's behind all of it. It's the Italian job.
Oh.
Prince, you have figured me out.
The obvious answer is Dr. Scythe.
tithe? Whatever do you mean?
Imagine.
She's not happy
No.
with us.
Imagine. The convict who'd been sentenced to death was not, in fact, killed. Imagine if that was to come to light.
What are you insinuating?
And imagine if the convict in question was the country's most hated mass murderer. If it was the professor.
That would be an unprecedented scandal.
This is beyond a joke. Need I point out that the dead cannot come back to life? But instantaneous kinesis, totally real. What you're suggesting would mean that the execution never really happened.
The miracle never actually happened.
The mirror.
What you're suggesting is that the miracle never happened.
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean.
Once a man is sent to the gallows, he hangs. No one could escape. Not
that's
in
how that
Great
works?
Britain.
But the fact is, there was a witness to the fact that the man did escape his hanging.
If that were really true, counsel, the implications of misconduct would not stop at the supervising coroner. It would taint the honor of the entire judiciary from the ground up.
And Male Stromheart would somehow get blamed for this, even though I don't think he would really be at fault. And then he's gonna hate our guts for this. And it's exactly because of those monumental repercussions that Dr. Scythe would consent to any demand made to her by someone who threatened to expose that secret. Even if it meant being complicit in a crime.
You mean...
I do mean.
I mean that Dr. Scythe wasn't collaborating in Mr. Drebber's wicked scheme. She was coerced into collaborating in order to protect her decade-old secret. She switched the dead body of Mr. Assman with the waxwork model and fabricated the autopsy report.
Ah!
Kerplunk.
Lord Van Zeeks!
Pray, forgive my freshly filled hallowed chalice, and a whole raft of other discourtesies now.
I kind of wish that the masked prosecutor or masked disciple would have
Did it too?
or just
Something.
reacted like, "Whoa, bro, are you
Yeah.
okay?"
Or like,
It's cool they gave him the slicing emotion, but otherwise he's doesn't react to anything.
Yeah.
or maybe he like puts a pillow under his leg so it doesn't slam so hard.
That would be super funny.
Goodness me!
All right, my leg was getting tired, so I put it down.
It's important to stretch.
That's not a bit that I can keep up for very long.
See, now I'm thinking of him as
I
like
got some tight hammies.
I'm thinking of him as like a like practicing ballet and getting up on the bar with his leg to stretch. And just, there's some pun there of like taking the bar exam and whatever. Somebody in chat will figure it out and make it funnier than me.
It's just the sort of tall tale Londoners would enjoy, I grant you. An executed killer rising from the dead, a Scotland Yard cover-up, a conspiracy at the highest levels, which hasn't happened
In this game series,
recently,
yeah, what?
for sure. So let me ask you one thing.
Yeah, freaking Tomoko Joestar in the chats as a reminder, his last case in the timeline was the one 6 months ago where he got disbarred for exposing government secrets. He literally can't help himself but get into the wrong cases.
It's just his MO. there's contraband, he's showing it to the court. Just the way it works.
Sorry, did you say this one?
I did. I can say it.
Yeah, sorry.
So, let me ask you one thing.
What's that?
What are you doing Friday night?
Oh my god!
If the condemned man really did emerge from his tomb that night, only to be shot in the
Wait,
chest...
Cosmo, do you still have amnesia? Is this okay?
Who pulled the trigger and disposed of him forever?
Well, I have no idea at the moment.
We have too little information to work that out at present, I think.
I couldn't agree more.
The Old Bailey is no place for wild fantasies. And have you considered this, my learned Nipponese friend?
Considered what?
Do you realize just what a dangerous endeavor it would be to coerce this woman into such criminal activity? Have you seen how creepy she is?
Do you know how many scalpels she bought last month?
You know she's got so much snake venom somewhere, just waiting to poison you with it.